Welcome to the Manna at the Tap podcast, an online spiritual formation community known as Tapestry Ministries. Our podcast provides daily spiritual nourishment in bite-sized pieces that we call manna. It is tailored for individuals seeking spiritual growth. I'm Gloria, your host, and I'm delighted to have you join us on this journey. Today is Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024, and we are in the fourth week of the season of Easter. We follow the biblical readings from the Revised Common Lectionary, a service of Vanderbilt Divinity Library. Yesterday's reading was the rejection of Saul by God. He was the first king of Israel, and the private choosing of David, a 15-year-old teenager, forgotten by his father and hated by his older brothers for being anointed by Samuel, the prophet of God. David was the sheep keeper of the family sheep. He was also a poet and a musician, and with time and experience, he became a great warrior. Samuel was the prophet who privately anointed David as king designate. All the while, King Saul remained a puppet on the throne. He was filled with jealousy, anger, and paranoia. The lectionary reading for today takes us to the book of First Chronicles, chapter 11, verses 1 to 9. 15 years have passed since that anointing with Samuel. Samuel, though, is now dead. Saul and his sons are all dead, and there is a clear path for David, whom God had chosen to be crowned king over God's people. Yes, David, God's chosen one, was privately anointed by Samuel to be the king over God's people, to shepherd them, and to become their ruler. And from that moment of his anointing, the Spirit of the Lord was powerful upon him, guiding his every step and decision. This divine intervention began a new era for Israel, a testament to the transformative power of faith and obedience. The 12 tribes were united in having David rule over them. They gathered to David at Hebron at his coronation, committing themselves to be subject to him. Their commitment was strengthened when they declared they were part of David's family. The people had watched David's life and loyalty to Saul, despite Saul's behavior towards him. And the people expressed the recognition that David was the one who had led them into military victories when Saul was king, especially over their arch enemies, the Philistines. The people also recognized that the Lord called David to be the shepherd king of Israel, and he was a shepherd over the people. David made a covenant with the people before the Lord. He had earned their loyalty, and they responded by accepting him as their king. And then we have David's public anointing. He moved his home base from Hebron to Jerusalem, a central location for the religious and political power base, accessible to all the tribes. He called it the City of David, unifying Israel without any tribe claiming special favoritism. What made David such a radically different leader than Saul? He was a man with a heart that followed God, and we can follow David's path through his writings in the 5 books of the Psalms. Now, your favorite psalm might be Psalm 23, but scholars are still debating when it was written. Many believe it was written in his later years because of its nostalgic toll. However, many others' psalms are written about the events that occurred in David's life, and they are a monument to us to follow when we experience life's situation. They are 150 psalms, and 73 of them are attributed to David. With his anointing by Samuel, Psalm 39 seems appropriate. It states, I will watch my ways and keep my tongue from sin. I will remain utterly silent, not even saying anything good. But show me, Lord, my life's end and the number of days I have left. Let me know how fleeting my life is. That sounds pretty appropriate for what was going on in David's life. When David made the move to Jerusalem, there is Psalm 118. How refreshing to hear the words of this psalm, which had both speaker parts for the leaders and the people. The leaders said, Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, his love endures forever. And the people's response was, His love endures forever. When hard pressed, I cried to the Lord. He brought me into a spacious place. The Lord is with me. I will not be afraid. He is my helper. I look in triumph at my enemies. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in humans. By the way, Psalm 118, verse 1, is heralded on Easter Sunday when we proclaim, Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His steadfast love endures forever. This is because Jesus Christ has risen and we too shall rise. David's words have become a guide for the people of Israel and the people of Easter, and they are the same guide for us today. You may be familiar with Psalm 118, verse 24. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. The psalmist recounted being delivered by God. Jesus, too, was delivered by God, and because of Christ's resurrection, we have been empowered, and he comforts and snatches us out of the realm of death. As Easter people, let us sing. Easter is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.